Chris Ockley, Missouri track fanatic and running junkie with Megan Cunningham, the former Eureka High School All-Stater and Mizzou fifth-year senior, who in Ames Friday at the Midwest Division I Regional took 12th and helped Mizzou women to a fourth place finish. Tell me, Megan, how you're feeling and what it was like Friday to take 12th and earn those All-Region honors.
I'm still really excited about the race. Obviously, we were a little bit disappointed after Flow Track had predicted that we would get a national bid. We were a little bit disappointed to not be able to make it as a team. But I think everyone walked away feeling pretty happy with how the season went. And as a team, we've overcome a ton of obstacles this season. And personally, I was really excited, and it was my first regional race, actually. So to be able to walk away with an all-region finish was definitely something that I'm really proud of, and it's something that I've really worked towards all year.
Yeah, obviously, I assume that was the goal going in, to be in that top 25 and be all-region, if not higher. But what was that like getting your name announced and getting that medal and being up on that stage?
It was just a really great experience, especially after not really having the results I wanted at SECs. It was really good to be able to come back and to not only achieve my personal goal, but just be able to be up there to help out my team.
And like you said, help the team to fourth place finish, and some of the Colas projections, thinking that you guys were in. And how tough was that Saturday to hear that you didn't get in?
I think after the race, none of us really thought that we had any chance of making nationals until those predictions started coming out. So we had kind of already accepted that our season was over, and then those predictions started coming out, and started to get a little bit excited, but we're just trying not to get our hopes up too much. And I think we weren't really talking about it. We weren't talking about nationals or anything about the future. Everyone kind of just went their separate ways and just didn't really talk a lot until probably an hour beforehand. And then everyone was like, wow, I've been so nervous, didn't sleep all night and everything. I think we were all just trying not to get our hopes up too much because we knew that we were right on the bubble there.
Right.
But I mean, it was disappointing, but I think looking back at it, we did everything we could do as a team. And so, we put our best effort out there, and unfortunately just came up short this time. So I think looking back now, we were disappointed, definitely, but it's just motivation for them to make it again next year.
And going back to the race Friday, was the goal top 25, or did you want more? Did you think top 15 or even 12th was possible going in?
I really, going into the season, actually the first day of practice, we had to come up with goals, and my goal was to be all-region. I said that from day one. So at the beginning of the season, I would say my goal is definitely top 25. As the season progressed, obviously, I started to realize that I could place higher than that. And I hadn't really thought about a specific place. I just knew that I wanted to be as high up as I could be to help with the team, just to help us have another low stick to hopefully place higher as a team. And especially after SECs, I kind of just went in just wanting to perform. I just wanted to go out there and have a good race. And I knew it could be my last chance. So I just really wanted to go out there and just place as high as I could and just see how the race unfolded. So I didn't really have a place in mind. I just wanted to do as well as I could possibly perform.
Well, take me back to SECs down in Georgia, where I guess you got tripped up and dislocated your shoulder. What was that like? Obviously, that's a pretty unusual cross-country injury, but what was that like, and how bad did that hurt?
So I would say within the first 300 was the first time I got tripped up, and I fell and I hit the ground pretty hard. But that one I got back up, and I lost a shoe that time. And when I got up, I was in last place, but I wasn't too far back. So I started moving back up, and I just told myself, at that point, I was like, I don't know if I can still be all conference, but I just need to move up as high as I possibly can because I can still score for the team, and it's going to be really important. So I started moving back up, and then about 1K later, actually right in front of a bunch of my teammates, I got tripped up again, and this time it was going downhill, and I think part of the reason I fell was because I didn't have that shoe for the traction. And when I hit the ground, I just hit really hard. But what was weird is the pain wasn't really ever in my shoulder. It was more like in my bicep. And I didn't really know what happened. I just knew that I was trying to get back up, but I couldn't really move my arm. So I was just laying there, and it was just kind of, it was kind of a mess. They're not really prepared for shoulder dislocations at a cross-country meet.
Right.
So they didn't have a sling. They didn't really know what to do with me. I was in a golf cart headed to the medical tent and ended up having to get out and walk because the golf cart was needed elsewhere, and someone was holding my arm up the entire time. So it was just basically a mess, and it wasn't really how I had envisioned the day at all.
Right.
But at that point, it was almost all you can do looking back is laugh because, I mean, it's not unusual for someone to fall in a race, but for it to happen twice to the same person in one race is just a pretty unusual circumstance. So
right.
I think it just wasn't meant to be that day. So all you can do now is look back at it and laugh, and I was just really happy that the girls stepped up and were able to perform and have us score pretty highly in the SEC,
right.
Even without me. So that was pretty great to see them come together.
No, I think it's been a really, with all the things that you guys have gone through this year, with all the injuries. I know the women were after a 16th place national finish last year, and you lose 2 all-region runners, but you think if everybody can stay healthy and people get healthy who weren't healthy, you guys can try to make it back there. And just with all the injuries you've had, and Caitlin not being able to get back, and Jamie with her stress fracture, and Sophia with her elbow, and I mean, for you guys to finish 4th at the conference and even at regionals, I thought was just phenomenal. I mean, amazing to me. But
it was huge. We've been through a lot, and it's just been a lot of just very unusual circumstances all season. And I mean, you'd show up for practice, and there would only be 2 people from the team working out that day, and everyone else, like, people are in the hospital, people are getting iron infusions, some people are sick. It was just crazy. Like, the team was spread in so many different directions at all the time, and so it was just kind of, hopefully everything would just fall into place on that day. And I think it actually ended up working out pretty well for us, both at regionals and SECs. But if you'd seen the team in the time leading up to that, you would not have seen that solid of a group, and everybody was just kind of all over the place. So
right.
Just to even have us all able to race at the same time was kind of an accomplishment.
And can you believe that you're even here now, being all-region and almost helping the team get to nationals, when just over 2 years ago you were in that horrific car accident that the Columbia Missourian documented really well last week, where you fractured your skull and you broke bones in your neck, and now you're all-region and you second runner on Mizzou's team almost all year, and just miss out on qualifying nationals. Does that seem surreal or amazing to you that you've come so far so shortly?
Yeah, it just is really crazy to me. Like, I never expected to even be anywhere close to where I was prior to the accident. I never expected that I would be running better than I had been before. I mean, I just wanted to be able to go out and go for a nice little hobby jog, and just be able to go out and run again. I did not expect to be able to be competing at this level. And I think that it's just been that, like, lack of expectation and just going into everything with an open mind and just staying positive. I think that's what really has brought about the difference in my performance, is just going in and taking each moment and just appreciating the fact that I'm there and able to go out there and compete. I think that's been the biggest thing for me.
Well, and with the season over now for you, and I don't think you've got indoor eligibility. What, you gonna take a couple weeks off and eat some junk food?
I actually do have indoor.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I redshirted my freshman year, so I have indoor and outdoor. So taking a little bit of time off right now, and then going home tomorrow actually to start Thanksgiving break with my family. And I have some medical school interviews planned, but after that, I'll start back up training for track.
And then, will you make the trip to Louisville with some of your teammates to cheer on Carissa, hoping for another second straight title? Or will you be watching online, cheering her from on the webcast?
I will be watching it online. I am going home to see my dad, and then I actually fly out that next day for a medical school interview. Okay. So just with the turnaround, it was going to be a little bit tight. If we had made nationals, it was going to be a little tight, me coming back and getting on the plane and everything. So now that we aren't going, I'm just going to take the time to go home and relax and unwind a little bit before my interview day.
And then last question here. What's it like having Carissa Schweitzer as a teammate? Obviously, 3 national titles last year, and I'm not only, I'm sure, close friends, but teammate, and you get to see her in practice every day. What's special about her, and what makes her so successful?
I think the big thing with Carissa is she doesn't view herself as being better than anyone else. I can tell you right now, every time that I cross the finish line, she is there so excited for me, and it's not about how she did. She is just like so proud of where I'm at and where everyone on the team is at. And I think that just shows you the type of person that she is. She is not one to really draw attention to herself. She understands that everyone out there is giving it their all, and she just appreciates all the hard work. I know she wanted us to make it as a team, and she was really disappointed that we didn't. But she's just such a team player, and she's so supportive of everyone and the work that everybody puts in. And she is just such a positive person to have on the team. And I think that she's definitely the type of teammate that you'd like to have ahead of you at all times, because she's just somebody great to look up to. She does all the little things right, and she's just brings a positive atmosphere every single day to practice.
Right. And one last real quick, something that just popped in my head. What's it like your high school coach, Callie Fischer, who ran at Mizzou years ago and had success for Coach Pig and Coach McGuire at Mizzou? I assume this just has increased your relationship for her, and I'm sure she's just excited to have one of her former standout athletes competing at her alma mater and having so much success. What's that like, that relationship between you guys, and how it's grown since college?
We have a really good relationship. She actually was just in Vegas and just ran a half marathon. I talk to her at least once a week. We are very similar, personality-wise, running-wise, just everything that I've done, it just seems to follow right in her footsteps. I'm really close with her and her family. And so I definitely still talk to her, and she came out to pre-nat and came and watched me race, and she's always the first one to be looking at the results. She will be texting my mom while I'm racing with updates, even though my mom's looking at the same page. She's just very supportive, and it's great because she's been at Mizzou. She's familiar with some of the staff here, and she's been through the process. So it's just been great having her as a resource and just somebody to look up to throughout all my time running.
Right. Well, congrats on the great season and the great finish on Friday, and we'll let you get back to work, and thanks for the time.
Thank you.